Hello guys, today we are going to develop a different game. The game name is Rock Paper Scissors. So basically we'll try to develop this game in a very simplest way so that it is easy to code and we can understand. I'll try to make it as simple as possible so that anybody can develop the game within like 20 minutes time. So let's start the process. First we'll create a HTML file. So let's name this. So we'll have the boilerplate ready. We'll link our CSS file and we'll link our JavaScript file too. So let's first create them here. So that's our CSS file. So now we can easily get this one. Let's create some divs for our contents. So let's do this. We'll create the first div. I'll name this. I'll give a class name for this div. So I'm just gonna name this one RPS main div. Inside the div, we will create some HTML elements. So let's make them. I'll put an ID as well. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the ID as like result text. Okay, that's the result ID. That's fine. We're going to create another HTML element. We're going to have the same class name but different ID name. So that will be UID, another HTML element as well. Form ID, let's see. UID. So just let's first develop these divs and HTML contents first. Then I will explain like what's going to happen. Basically, these will gonna display the scores and results of the game, like the outcomes. That's what I'm trying to do. But first, I'm trying to develop the HTML first. So then we'll develop the CSS. Then we'll develop the JavaScript. Okay, that's done. So we're gonna create some buttons now. So the buttons will have class and we'll create 3 buttons for this. So let's see. We're gonna name them as game button. So I'll have 3 buttons altogether. Okay, so that's our button, that's done. And we'll have the final one more div. So after this div, we're gonna create one more div. That's optional. Whether you guys like it or not is up to you. You can do it. It has nothing to do with the game though. So it's just like something I'm doing for optional purpose. Okay, so this is our HTML so far done. Now we'll create the CSS file. So let's copy this and check our HTML. How does it look like? It don't look great. It is looking like this now. So basically this is what is the so far like the results of our HTML coding. Now we'll do CSS coding, then we'll do JavaScript, and at the end we'll check how does this looks like. Okay, so let's check. We'll do the CSS now. So let's do the first body. You can put any background color if you like. I have a preferable background color which I'm gonna do. Sorry. This is my preferred background color. Let me check. Yes. So now we'll try to develop this RPS main div. Choose the font family for this. You can choose anything if you like. I will choose maybe Arial. That's it. And text center and color. I will choose I'm not going to choose any color for this. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna choose padding. Okay, this is our div. Now we'll develop this class. We're gonna decorate this class in CSS. So let's see. So we'll have the same type of thing. So we'll first choose the font family. Maybe I'll just choose this one. Anything you can choose, it doesn't matter. Then we'll choose text align center, and we'll choose the color for this. Let's check the color. So I'm going to choose the crimson. So I'm going to do the crimson for this. It's a default color. It's available in the Visual Studio Code, so you can find it, or you can put any color, any codes, whatever your choice. Now we will develop the class for the buttons. Design the class for the buttons, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's check. I'll put a line height here. So I'll put 3 rem and width. So it will be 10 rem. And background color. Let's put some background color here. I'll put coral. And font size. Let's put 2.2. put margin for this. So on the left side the margin will be there. So we'll put 2 rem, and we will put font weight, put bold. So now develop some IDs. So we already have some IDs here. These are the IDs. So we will try to develop these IDs one by one. So first we will develop this ID. Basically, for the ID we need to put the hash first, and I'll try to have same type of contents in both of these IDs, and you will see why later on. Basically they will then be synchronized. Basically this will be displaying the same text for same type of player. Suppose computer will have different texts and the player will have a different text. So I'll put the color here. I'll just put the basic blue, and let me check. I'll put font size. So I'll choose 2 rem. That's fine. So let's copy this. Let me check what I put. So it will be com id and com win id. That's fine. So we'll just change this values here. Basically just change the text. So I'll put for the computer I'll put a different color so that we can easily distinguish between computer and the player. So, and font size will be the same. That's fine. And for the result ID, whatever the ID it is, yeah, result ID. Check the spelling again. Result ID. That's fine. So for the result ID, we will have a different color. So I'm gonna put color as green, so to distinguish between the results and the computer and player. And the font size, let's put it a bigger font size. Let's check 4 again. So this is so far our CSS file now. Now we'll try to develop our JavaScript file. Let me check. We'll declare some in the JavaScript file. We'll declare some variable first. So basically, this will be. So let's declare the variables. We will use document dot querySelector, and we will select which one we want to select. Basically, we will gonna select an ID, and that ID will be this one. Same one for the computer ID as well. So we're gonna select for the result as well. Let me check the ID here. Result ID, that's fine. So for the ID, we need to put the hash sign before them. Now we will find the uwin ID, and we'll go to the JavaScript file. Now we'll get the last ID in our div. So that's the form ID. Let's check this one. Now we'll declare the variable for buttons. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just copy this one again. So for the buttons, because we have like 3 class here, same we would three buttons here consisting the same class game button. So we're gonna get the querySelectorAll for this. So basically then it will select all of the buttons at the same time, so we can write the codes for all of them at the same time. Anyway, for the IDs we need to put the hash in here before them, and for the buttons, since we have class, these are not, we have used the IDs, but for the buttons we are having the class, so we're gonna use the dot first, and then we're gonna put the button class name. So that's how we're gonna get the class here, and for the IDs we're gonna get the hash, then we're gonna get the name of that particular ID, and for the classes we're gonna get the dot first, then we're gonna get the class names, and for the multiple classes at the same time we'll selecting the querySelectorAll. So anyway, we're gonna declare new variable for our player or me or whoever is playing against computer. So we're gonna write the machine, and we're gonna declare 2 more variable. So you win is equal to 0, and then we're gonna write like machine win is equal to 0. So that's how we're gonna declare all the variables. Now we will declare 2 function first. Basically it will be a simple JavaScript coding, so we're not gonna have many functions here. So we're gonna have one function, that name will be computer play, and we'll have second function which will have the winner. Anyways, functions has been declared first. So we're gonna write some code for the game buttons. So game buttons dot, we're gonna, since we have multiple buttons, so we'll use the for each method for this. So we're gonna have this button select, and we're gonna have an arrow function for that. So to declare the arrow function, we'll write it like this way. Anyway, that is the parameter, that is the arrow function. So return button select dot, we're gonna add event listener for these buttons. So whenever someone is clicking on them, that will have some codes so that we can implement. And we'll have another arrow function inside in this addEventListener. So we'll have this variable declared here. We'll assign some value for these variables. So basically whatever the buttons player will press, that text content will be assigned to this particular variable u, and we're gonna call the function here computer play function, and then we will write some codes for those other variables we have declared above. We're gonna have the template literal here. So whatever the buttons I'm going to select, like rock or paper or scissor, whatever the buttons I'm going to press, that value will be assigned here and that value will be displayed here. That's what we are doing here. Same thing we're going to do for the computer as well. So same thing will happen for this one as well. So we're gonna use a temporary literal again. And we're gonna have the contents for this. So how many times player will win and how many times the computer will win. So we're gonna display that as well. Same thing we'll do for the computer as well. Well, this is done. That's fine. So now we're gonna develop the functions inside. So I'm gonna put semicolon here, semicolon here. Now we're gonna develop the function. So this function will be easy for the computer turn. It's not gonna be difficult. Basically, first we're gonna declare a constant. So random value. So this will be having the popular method we always use for generating the random number. So math.floor. Inside that again math.random, and then after declaring the function, since we have only 3 value, so we're gonna multiply with 3 and then we're gonna add +1. So basically this will be so this will be our random value. So we're gonna use this in the switch statement here. So the random value will be here added and case will be 1. So where we are assigning the value for the machine basically. machine is equal to, for the case 1 it will be rock, and for case 2 it will be paper, it will be scissors for case 3, and our code function for this one is finished. Like the codes inside this function will be finished. So we're going to develop the final function, which is the winner function. Let's see. The first statement we're gonna, like first condition we're gonna use, it will be easy one. So if player and the computer, sorry, not player, if you, the player, is like equal to machine, basically if both of them choose the same value, so then it will return it's a draw. It will return it's a draw. So basically that's easy will be, it will be. But if it is not equal, if they are not equal, not having equal value, so then we will have else if statement, and where we're going to write the code for this. If the machine is equal to rock, if machine chooses rock, but the player if you choose paper, then what gonna happen, we're gonna write like player, sorry, you win. So we're gonna have this variable you win plus plus, and then we'll return the statement. The statement will be player win. Now you win. So this is what it is going to do. So similarly, we're going to have 3 more else if, let's say 2 more else if. So basically, if machine chooses paper, but the player chooses scissors, so then same thing gonna happen. If the machine chooses scissors, but the player chooses rock, so the same thing gonna happen. So at the end we're gonna have another statement for the else. Else for other cases, machine win, machine win plus plus, and return value will be computer win. So this is all the code there it is. So this is all done. Now we'll check the value. So this is what our final version of games looks like. So first if I play, so first the player has to play. So it is saying I'm winning. So but this time I'm losing because the computer has won. So let's get a draw if we can. Yeah, we got a draw, and none of the player has won the game, and it is still the same. So that's what it is, guys. Thank you.